Here we go again. Oh, it's sliding a little bit. Oh, be careful. Oh, she's going. Guys, it's K Cars, and in this video I want to talk about 5 things that I learned from owning a Jeep Cherokee XJ. So this video won't apply to only the XJ right here, but as you guys see, this is what I have right here, so I'm the most familiar with it. Some of these things will also apply to, let's say, like Wranglers, for example, and any type of Jeep that's actually made for off-roading, such as most of the old Jeeps and the new Wranglers as well. So the first thing that I did want to talk about in this video is that owning a Jeep, like an off-road Jeep, is going to open up a whole new world for you. Now you probably might be thinking, like, what does that even mean? Like, opening up a whole new world, what does that really mean? So, you know, a lot of people have different types of hobbies and interests. I don't know, maybe mountain biking, skiing, snowboarding, basketball, sports, anything like that. So once you actually get a Jeep that's made for off-roading, such as a Wrangler or an old XJ like this, it'll open a world of off-roading and being able to go places that you weren't able to go before actually owning a Jeep. So if you're not like familiar or you don't really have much experience off-roading, even just owning a Jeep like this and seeing a random gravel road or like a bumpy road that you, like in a normal practical car, you probably wouldn't even want to do that because you might be worried about, you know, scraping or messing up something in your suspension. But you know that owning a Jeep, it's made to do that kind of stuff. So if you see like a random gravel road or an off-road road or like any kind of mud holes, then you kind of think to yourself, like, this is a Jeep, it's made to do those kind of things. And it's kind of going to open up a world of just exploring new places, which is exactly what happened when I got this Jeep. So a few months ago, I posted a video, I think it was titled like finding new trails in my Jeep Cherokee XJ or something like that. It was a few months ago. But in that video, I went on new roads that I literally have never been on. And I definitely would not try to drive on those roads in like a regular practical car. And the whole reason for that is because, like, the whole reason that I'm bringing that up is because I would not like even think about doing that in like the Challenger or any other kind of practical car that you would, just like a practical commuter car that you would take point A to point B. So that's definitely one important thing that I think owning a Jeep will bring to you, is just it opens up a whole new world of exploring and just going new places. So that's definitely an important thing that comes with owning a Jeep like this. Now the second thing I want to talk about is, you guys might laugh at this, but it's always going to be a project. No matter if you're planning to keep it stock, or, you know, if you get an old XJ like this, then you have to expect it's definitely going to be a project. Judging from my own experience, I definitely was not expecting to have a project vehicle, even though that's basically what it turned out to be. I was planning to, you know, throw on a lift kit, wheels and tires, and just stop at that. And you guys know, if you've been watching all of my videos, all my Jeep videos, then you'll know that that's definitely not the only thing that has been done to this Jeep. You know, just recently we replaced a bunch of the different cooling parts because we were having some cooling issues. Fortunately, everything is taken care of now. You know, it's still a project Jeep though, like it's never going to be done. Still have some more body work to do, some more rust to take care of. And this mostly applies just to these old Jeeps like the XJ, the WJ, ZJ, or old TJs, or, you know, any kind of old Jeeps. Now, if you're getting a new Jeep like the new JL or maybe a new Gladiator, then it might not be like an actual project. Like maybe if you make it into a project, or that's what you're expecting, then yeah, you can definitely make it into a project. But if you're just buying a new Jeep as a daily driver or a commuter car, or if you're not really like a Jeep person, then you know, you can make sure that it's not going to be a project. But there are also times where you get a Jeep thinking that it's not a project, thinking that you're not going to off-road it, you're going to just keep it as a point A to point B commuter vehicle, and it ends up being a money pit. So that's usually where the fun comes in, but it also does cost a lot of money to actually modify Jeeps, especially new ones. You know, that's the whole fun part of owning Jeeps like this, is that, you know, sometimes you might not always plan to upgrade your Jeep or plan to upgrade different components of your Jeep, and it might just become so much of an interest to you that you just end up doing all these things that you never expected to do. So that's definitely the number 2 thing that I learned from owning a Jeep, is that it's always going to be a project. Number 3 thing that I learned from owning a Jeep is kind of a continuation of number 2, and that is you're always going to want more. So if your Jeep is a project and you're not just buying a Jeep for a commuter car, then once you actually start upgrading your Jeep, you know, putting a lift kit, wheels and tires, stuff like that, you're always going to want more, and you're never going to be completely done with your Jeep. Like I said before, I thought I was going to be done after doing the lift kit, wheels and tires, but as you guys know, I always have an ongoing list of things that I want to do to this thing. And it's never going to stop, because I'm always looking for the new thing to upgrade. And of course, I have a list of things that I want to do to this Jeep, and of course there's also a backup list of things to do after I complete those first things. So you might think that owning a project vehicle, there is going to be a certain point where you're actually done with it, but trust me, you're never actually done with a project car, unless it's like brand new and, you know, nothing's going to break on it. So, I mean, I guess if you're in the case of having a brand new Jeep, then maybe you're not always going to want more if it's not a project vehicle, but if you are upgrading it for off-roading, then you're definitely always going to want more. And, you know, it's not the same for every single person, but if you're a Jeep person and you like off-roading, then you're most likely in the same boat as me, because like I said, there's pretty much a never-ending list of things that I do want to upgrade to this thing. So the number 4 thing that I want to talk about is that you're going to meet new people owning a Jeep like this. So especially an old XJ like this, if it's clean and you actually drive it places, then you're definitely going to have people coming up to you and starting conversations about it. So just recently I was driving this thing on a public road, and there was a guy biking beside me, and he just came up to me on the side, and he was like, he gave me a thumbs up and said, "Nice Jeep," and he kept looking back at it and just taking a look at it. I really can't blame him, because this Jeep is in very good condition in my opinion, especially being an old XJ like this. I know these things are becoming very rare, and you guys probably know that as well. So if you have an old Jeep like this, maybe like a ZJ or a WJ or a TJ or any kind of old Jeep, even a new Jeep if it's modified, you're always going to be meeting new people who either own Jeeps, or they like Jeeps, or they're off-road people even if they don't own Jeeps. If they have other types of off-road vehicles and they see that you have an off-road vehicle as well, then they're definitely going to be talking to you and sparking up a conversation just to talk about your Jeep and what's done to it. Which is a very good thing about these Jeeps, because one thing I've realized is that, you guys probably know, I also have a Dodge Challenger Scat Pack, and I will say the Jeep community is definitely a lot nicer than the sports car community. With that being said, you know, there's nice people in every single community, and there's also negative people in every single community. I'm sure there's negative people in the Jeep world, and there's definitely a lot of nice people in the sports car world as well. I was at a store one time, and I walked back out to my Jeep here, and somebody parked right next to me, and as soon as he saw that I opened the door, he looked at me and said, "Is that a 5-speed?" And, you know, unfortunately I had to tell him no, because at the time I couldn't find any manual Jeeps like this for sale. But I really can't complain, because this one's very clean. And I probably talked to that guy for a solid 10 minutes. He told me about his story of his XJ that he used to have. I believe he said that he gave it to his son, which is pretty cool, just passing down Jeeps like that from generation to generation, especially old Jeeps like this that are becoming like collector vehicles now. So just from my experience, you're definitely going to be meeting a lot of new people owning a Jeep like this, whether you off-road it or you don't off-road it, or whether it's modified or stock. you're definitely going to be meeting and talking to new people driving a vehicle like this. Number 5 thing that I learned from owning this Jeep is that you're going to have a whole lot of fun. Now, in my experience, I drove this thing through a few snowstorms, and as you guys know, driving through snow is one of my favorite kind of like settings to drive this thing in. I'm definitely going to throw in a few snowstorm clips at the end of this video, so make sure you stay and watch those. Driving this thing is a whole lot of fun, and even if I'm driving on a regular road, it's still really fun. Even though it's not made to drive on pavement like this, it still is fun. Even though it's, you know, it's slow, it's not made to be fast or anything like that. It's not made to handle very well, but you know, for some reason it is fun to drive on road, but it's made to go off-road, and that's what it's very good at doing. So it's definitely a whole bunch of fun exploring new places, new roads that you've never been on. Maybe you can take this thing on roads that you wouldn't take your practical commuter car on, and this thing or any Jeep will handle any kind of roads like that without any kind of problem. Yeah, you're definitely going to be having a whole bunch of fun with a Jeep, whether that's a Wrangler or an old Cherokee or an old Wrangler, an old Grand Cherokee. You really can't underestimate the actual ability of these Jeeps. Even if it is an old stock Jeep, you can do a whole lot more with these things than you might expect if you're not too familiar with these things. So yeah, I mean, exploring new places, driving on new roads, driving through a snowstorm, which is my favorite thing to do with these things. It's definitely a whole bunch of fun. That's probably gonna do it for this video. That was 5 things that I learned from owning a Jeep Cherokee XJ. I know you guys definitely have some things to add to that list, so if you do, make sure to drop those down in the comments below. And if you guys have any video suggestions for videos you would like to see in the future, make sure to also drop those down below in the comments, as well as any questions that you guys might have. And like I said, I will be including some clips at the end of this video of a snowstorm drive back when this Jeep was completely stock, and also when this Jeep had its current setup, which is a 3-inch lift on 31-inch mud tires. And if you guys like this video and found it entertaining, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching. Alright guys, so this is probably the deepest snow that we've been in so far. I'm not sure how deep this is, but that's like pretty deep right there. Definitely like 4 to 5 inches, I think. You can see right there. But yeah, this is completely fresh snow. We are like paving the road right here. And yeah, she's looking really good. Haven't had any problems at all.
Wow. I mean, you can look at the tires. I mean, the snow is deep. That looks good though.
I definitely do think that there's more snow than last time, especially up here. Alright. I mean, okay, yeah, we're sliding a little bit.
Here we go. All right, I think we're in 2-wheel drive right now, and he's not sliding at all. And this is really what I'm talking about when it comes down. He's sliding a little bit right there, as you guys can see, but yep. All right, he's in 4-wheel drive. I mean, this is all ice down here. Here we go again. Oh, it's sliding a little bit. Oh, I'm sliding too. You guys can see that is a solid ice right there.
Oh my god.
Give her a go. I'll push it. I'll push it. She's not going, guys.
Let's try to get some speed.
All right, all right.
Up a little bit.
Oh, my shoes are soaked. Oh, be careful. Oh, she's going. Okay, the Jeep is gone. Just slid and he's trying to get control of it. This is crazy. This is way better than last video. All right, he's gonna try and get some momentum. I mean, you guys can see he's just slid at least 25 feet, so. All right, let me get back up here. Ah. Yep. All right, with a little bit of a momentum there, we got over the hump right here.